Well. Hello and welcome back everyone to the Adventurers Guild D&D YouTube/Twitch channel. We're going to be not streaming the Legends of Illyria campaign anymore, as some of you might have heard, and instead I'm going to be moving over to streaming one-shots with some lovely people that I've not met before. So it's going to be a kind of series of one-shots where I just get random people together and we just have some fun in a game of D&D. So today I've got 4 people here with me. You might recognise Enigma and a couple of other people who seem quite nice as well, from what I've met. So I'm just going to dive right into the game, and we'll go for some character introductions at the start, and we will just play. So a little bit of a backstory for the world here and the setting of this campaign. So each of our 4 lovely players here are around level 7, or should be level 7. That's going to be the level of this campaign today. And all of your backstories are, you all kind of have been adventurers before, right? That's why you're level 7. You've already kind of been around, you know the tools of your trade. You've done some adventuring in the past. And for some reason, maybe you felt like a bit of a change up. Maybe your old party wasn't really, you weren't gelling or mixing well together. You've all decided to go on this quest where it was looking for a bunch of random people to go out and help a village up in the mountains called Ravensbrook. It was kind of like a bit of a team building exercise of kind of, like just get a bunch of random people together and see how it goes. So all of you guys decided to sign up for this quest, and there was a meeting point. You were told by one of the people in the Adventuring Guild, or wherever you signed up for this quest, that there was a meeting point. A campfire up in the mountains, just outside Ravensbrook village. So all of you guys traversed through the mountain paths. Over the course of a day, you guys all kind of arrived together from the morning till the evening, and we begin today's session with you guys up in the mountains, crowded around a campfire in the evening, about to put your head down for the night before you arrive at Ravensbrook, probably tomorrow mid-afternoonish, around 12, kind of 1 p.m, sorry. So as you all sat around a campfire, having just kind of met each other, I'd like everyone to go around and just give a brief introduction of your character, a short kind of little visual description of them. And yeah, so who would like to start with that one then?
I can go first if you want.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
So I'm playing Raven. He is a Warforged. His design is humanoid in shape, but it's based off a raven, hence his name. He's completely black. There's no other colours other than his blue eyes. He's a very simple person. He's just here to get paid, upgrade his gear, then go home and rest. That's about his story. Very simple. He doesn't have anything else going on.
Lovely. Who else have we got? Who wants to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next.
Yeah, go for it.
Adonis is a human fighter. He's got breastplate armor. He's got sort of a dark blondish hair, goes down to his shoulders. Yeah, that's just what he looks like.
Lovely. Who else?
Okay. I'll allow Fo to go first.
Okay. Alistair looks like a deep gnome, a Snurvnerflerling, however you pronounce it. It's got about 3 foot tall, grey skin, hair sprouting everywhere, and it's pure white. The grey skin is just full of wrinkles because Alistair is old, like really old. He wanders around with his little walking stick. Everything he's wearing a long dust, or for him, a long duster because he's only 3 foot tall. But it all looks decrepit. Everything looks like it's about a century old, and he looks like he's a few.
Okay.
So that's him.
Lovely.
Just the old man sitting there annoying everyone.
Nice. As you're going last, Boris, I guess Vanya can be walking into the camp after everyone else. Everyone's already sat around the campfire, and you kind of stroll in fashionably late as the last member of this party then.
What you see is a very tall woman. She's a Goliath, and she has some knightly garments like chainmail and stuff. And you also see she has like a hammer on the side of her hip as she like comes in bravely and asks everyone, is this the appointment?
What? Hey, speak up! I can't hear you.
I said, is this the appointment, sir?
I hope so. Otherwise, I'm in the wrong place.
God damn it, where's that mayor? I told the scouts to give me a proper answer.
I doubt you're going to find a decent answer around here. I'm guessing you're
Oh.
new to the group?
Can I, like, besides them, do I see anyone around, like...
No,
Uh,
it's quite
we-
simply a campfire that I guess maybe Raven has probably put up before everyone has arrived here. You were just told to meet at a road sign in the road, so you're currently at kind of like a crossroads. Not a crossroads, sorry, a Y thingy. What's it called? A fork in the road. One of them goes to Ravensbrook, and the other one it doesn't have a sign that it says where it goes to. And you're just off to the side of the road, just by a little campfire that's been burning for most of the night, and it's probably coming down to its last embers at the moment.
Okay. So, how long have you been sitting here and waiting? She asks the rest of you.
Raven just kind of looks around at them and goes, "Well, I've been waiting all for you, so I've been here for quite a while now."
Are you sure this is the right spot?
Yes, Ravensbrook is just not too far ahead. We should be there.
I need to talk with the mayor once more. Anyways, well, the name is Vanya. I am a knight of like Stoneforge Citadel, and I've been sent here to like apparently to a mission. I don't know the full details, but hopefully whoever hired us will tell us more.
Well, I'm Alistair. I brought out retirement to come and help you lot. So yeah, I've been told you needed someone that could scout around a bit. So that's me.
Nice to meet you, Alistair. And you too, as she looks over to Raven and Adonis.
I'm just here to get paid. I'm not too bothered about your backstories.
Well, I was told there was some
Fair
good
enough.
glory in fighting here.
Oh. As you all kind of group up around the campfire, then it's been a long day of travelling for most of you, or a long day of sitting and waiting. It's getting dark, and you don't. Well, presume that you don't really want to arrive in the village at 1 in the morning, because that's a little bit unreasonable. Most people will probably be asleep. So yeah, you've got a long rest ahead of you now. How are you going to be taking this long rest? Do you want to take watches, or do you all just want to have a nice little sleep? Or do you even trust sleeping next to other people that you've never met before?
Yeah, I'll take first watch.
Okay.
I can stay up the entire night if people want.
I'll sleep. I'll always sleep. It's always good.
Of course, the old gnome would sleep.
Okay, so
I'll just like go somewhere besides the road and like hide behind a rock in case like there's any bandits at the night.
Okay.
I want to ambush.
Lovely. So after a nice little introduction, a short brief conversation between each other, you all bed down for the night as the embers of the fire kind of burn out, giving you a little bit of warmth to fall asleep to or stay up on watch. Now throughout the watch, it's a very peaceful night. There's not many people traversing these roads at this time of day. You just kind of hear the occasional howl of some wolves, maybe some scrabbling of rocks in the mountains far, far away, maybe some echoes of some rock falls far in the distance. And you all probably wake up around 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning kind of time, ready to head down the road just a couple of hours to get towards Ravensbrook village, where you are tasked with an unknown mission. So,
You're on my back. That's it's not good sleeping on those rocks.
You'll get used to it, old man.
I got used to it, and then I got unused to it because I found a bed.
Oh, What? Why didn't you bring yourself a bag or something to sleep on?
Well, I would have bought a bed, but it's too big and heavy. And I'm only little.
Oh, you can get yourself like one of those compact small bags, Raul.
You're big. You could carry a bed for me. That's
I
it.
can probably
Yes.
even carry you if I needed to.
I doubt you have a horse or anything, do you?
No, I usually just walk.
Keep your bed stuff on there.
Oh, and with permission, I shall hand out. Look, just in case, these are good for eating and a bit of healing, and I'll give everyone 2 good brews.
Ooh, lovely.
So,
Mm, I
assuming I've got
appreciate
stuff-
the offer.
Yeah, if someone falls over, they're really good for getting them back up again.
Awesome.
Mm,
So if I scrape
Okay.
my knee, I can eat one of these.
Well, that's if you want to.
Lovely. So after packing up and some talks in the morning, you know, I stand at this fork in the road where the sign leads to Ravensbrook, and it points further into the mountains. So the mountains are going up to your right, and the path can continue along forward, or the sign to Ravensbrook points you up deep into the mountains through a relatively narrow, maybe 10 or 15 foot wide kind of crack in the rock, where the walls are going to be starting out pretty low, but it looks like they go up to be quite high, you know, a couple of 100 feet above you at one point. There looks to be just kind of a ravine that runs through the mountain is the path forward.
okay.
So presumably you all decide to follow the path.
No, we're gonna go the opposite direction.
I mean, you can if you want. Not promising
No, we need to meet with the one that hired us. So if they're not coming to the camp, they might as well find them at the city, or I guess the town.
Okay.
Well, I suppose we better go. And Alistair starts walking off with using the cane, and you can hear it clicking every time he puts it down.
Really. As you start to walk into the
Are you gonna
ravine, it begins to echo off the walls in this little click, clack, click of the staff. And is everyone else following?
Yeah, we'll follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can hear the same, but with Adonis's tall spear.
Oh,
He's got
lovely.
his shield on his back and he's carrying his spear in his hand.
It's like an improvised band. You're all playing different tunes as you walk along. Lovely. So
Yes,
does
It's
anyone...
the knees that really get the tempo going.
Lovely. So
Be on the lookout for any
Yeah.
possible danger.
yeah, I was going to say, how do you guys want to take this journey? Do you want to be kind of like being perceptive, or are you just taking a lovely stroll down a garden path?
I'll take the lead, but I'll be cautious.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome to roll some perceptions if you would like for this journey. To try and avoid being jumped on by any large rocks that might fall from the sky or anything like that.
Oh,
Ooh. So the first roll from Raven was 17, and the second roll from Vanya was a natural 20 on a perception. So one thing I haven't mentioned to you guys is that if you are rolling on Foundry, can you say what your rolls are? Just
Nope.
so people know,
Okay.
because people can't see what the rolls are.
How do I do the rolls on Foundry?
On Foundry, you can open up your character sheet. If you want to, you can do them with your own dice or on somewhere else if you want. But on Foundry, you open up your character sheet, and on the left there'll be a list of your stats, and you can just click on one of them. It'll pull up a little thing, and you can roll at normal or with disadvantage or advantage.
Ah,
You found it?
Yep.
Lovely.
there we go.
And that'll be a 9.
That was a 9.
Lovely.
Because I'm useless.
Very good
I'm not
perception.
set up for doing that.
It's fine. You can roll on something else. You don't have to roll on Foundry at all.
I rolled on
Yeah.
D&D Beyond, and I got a 17, I believe.
17. Lovely. So Vanya, Raven, and where have I got your name on my screen here? It's somewhere. And Alistair.
Honest.
Yeah, well, the three with a nice roll on perception. You're being quite on the lookout. You keep looking forwards and backwards, and occasionally up to see if there's anything flying at you from the sky. But it seems to be quite a safe journey. And as you get close to the Ravensbrook village, The early morning mists that were still kind of clinging to the rocks around you start to, start to lift off the ground. And one more
As in
turn.
they levitate, or
No, they start to just evaporate, as mists kind of do. And as you take one final turn in this valley that you're in this ravine, the walls to your left and right open up from about the 10 to 15 feet wide up into a much larger area to reveal a little village. It's quite a small place at first glance. You can just see maybe 5 to 10 houses kind of situated along the path just in front of you, as though it's just kind of been thrown there without really any consideration. But as you continue to look, you can see that there's lots of doorways and windows that are kind of like etched into the rock along the edges of this ravine.
can I go to one of the houses and
Well, I'm
knock?
just doing a
Unless there's like some.
I'm
someone
just
outside.
describing the scene for you, and then you can do whatever you want.
Oh, My
so-
bad.
That's right. I'll give you an invitation for when there's something to do. But usually when you go into a place, I'll kind of describe it, and then I'll give you an opportunity to do things. So yeah, it's this village sandwiched in between the two walls of the ravine that have widened up to maybe about 100, 150 feet across. But the interesting part is that it doesn't just kind of continue forwards and widen out. It kind of splits off into two paths that kind of encircle a deep hole in the rock in the middle that you guys can probably presume is the mine that has made Ravensbrook such a prominent village. It's known for being quite a lucrative gem mining town. And it looks like this mine shaft is just right in the middle of the village. There is one house that you can see that is much bigger than the others. It's not just made out of rock, it also appears to be painted with some red paints. And you can see that there are a couple of villagers out this early in the morning, kind of walking back and forth, doing tasks in the morning. A lot of them are kind of carrying clothes and stuff. But considering this is a gem mine, you see a suspicious lack of people down by the mines. There's no torches in the mine. There's no kind of like flow of traffic as you would expect kind of people to be going in and out, carrying, tools of the trade and such. The mine itself seems to be quite unoccupied, but other than that, seems like a pretty standard early morning village. So yeah, now you're welcome to do what you would like to do.
Can I go to one of the villagers and just talk to them?
So as you walk into the village, you see that there's quite a few people, as I said, that are walking back and forth, seemingly making themselves busy. But there's a small group of people that you can see outside of this much larger house that are all kind of huddled together with quite worried, nervous looks on their faces, and they're all kind of speaking to each other in muttered whispers. So you can approach someone who's working, or you can approach this small group, or you can go somewhere else. What do you want to do?
I'll go to the small group that seems to be worried or something,
Okay.
and go "Good evening, gentlemen. What's the worries?"
Yeah, so as you walk over to this group of people, they don't quite notice you until you introduce yourself, or until you speak. And they all kind of turn around, kind of caught out of their conversation as they look at you. And a couple of them make kind of furrowed brows slightly, and a couple of them look a little bit confused as they all kind of take a moment to take you in. Obviously, you're somebody that they haven't seen before. You're quite large. And then after a moment, one of them, a short for you, maybe not short for everyone else. They're about 5'6" or so. 5'6". A male human walks up to you. And he kind of looks up. And where's the rest of the group at this point? Are you all kind of following behind, or are you all still at the entrance?
And
yeah,
how much you meet?
I'm in the village. I'm just having a look around and
Okay.
seeing what type of buildings there are.
Yep.
Like any stores or anything.
Okay.
Raven's
Just
gonna
looking-
go to the mine and just peer down into it.
Okay.
Just going to find a small wall to sit on.
Yeah.
Just catch my breath.
Okay. So as the youngish, he looks to be maybe kind of mid-20s. As he walks up to you, He kind of like looks past you to see if he can see anyone. He might spot a couple of you guys walking throughout the village. And he kind of takes a step back and looks back at you, try and look you in eye to eye as he kind of holds his hand out and he's like, "Hello, are you an adventurer or just a merchant passing through?" He holds his hands up.
I'm more of a knight, sir, but yeah. The name is Vanya.
Oh,
I've been sent here because I heard there was troubles.
oh, thank God. Oh, honestly, we have really been waiting for some people to arrive. You're a knight. Oh, lovely. Are you here with some other people as well, I can see?
She looks behind her. They're somewhere behind me. Yeah, they I guess, went shopping or something.
Oh, lovely. We heard that there will be about 4 of you coming. Is that right?
Well, I met 4 last night, so yeah.
Oh, lovely. Honestly, the mayor is going to be so happy.
Let's just wait for them. They'll probably come in a minute.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. He kind of like turns back and looks at the group of people that he was with, all kind of, they've started muttering to each other and kind of like looking at you as you have a conversation. Well, yeah, sure. Well, I'm sure the mayor will want to speak to you, but yeah, if you want to wait around for everyone to get back as a group, well, that works. Just come and see me when you want to see the mayor, and I'll take you to him.
Okay, I'm gonna be somewhere, or
We'll wander over.
Okay. So everyone else who's kind of been looking around the village, Raven, as you've been looking at the mine shaft, you'll have been able to see that it looks like it was once quite productive. You can see that there's some minecart rails that kind of lead around the outside, that looks like they might have once been used quite a lot. They're quite worn down. You can see there's some small piles of rocks down in the cavern below. And there's lots of kind of like wall sconces with torches that are not lit, so it's very, very dark as you're looking into it. It seems like no one's been in there for a good while. Adonis, what were you were just looking around the village to see if you could spot any... What were you...
Yeah, see if there's like any stores or...
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as you
any
look...
sort of shops or anything.
Yeah, as you look around the village, you kind of learn to find that it's not really that kind of a village. It's more of like a village that's been built here for a purpose. There's not really any shops. It's not really a tourist village. It's more like this is a mining town and everyone here is kind of here to work. There's not really any shops. People presumably just trade amongst each other and maybe don't use as much currency as you are kind of used to.
Okay.
Yeah, Alistair spent his time. He sat down on the wall, just looking like he's catching his breath, but actually he's watching. And he's trying to get a feel for the village, how the people interact.
Okay.
You know, are they afraid? Are they happy?
Yeah.
Are they drunk?
Okay, would you like to do for me a... I'll leave it up to you, a perception or an insight, whichever you would like.
Oh, I'll do a perception.
Go for it.
Gives me a whopping 9.
A 9. Okay. So, as you kind of sit there for a few minutes, catch your breath, you kind of gather that everyone seems to have a little bit of worry on their face. They kind of have, brows are furrowed a little bit. They're kind of walking, looking behind them, looking like, checking their backs as they're walking down the streets. They look to be a little bit more nervous than you would kind of expect for a normal kind of nice homely village such as this. Yeah, and you can kind of gather that's about all you can determine from them at the moment.
Right, well, let's get on then. Let's go and join the others.
Okay, are you all kind of regrouping back up together? Yeah.
Yeah. Go and find everyone else where they are.
Really. So as you all kind of walk back towards Vanya, who's kind of just outside of this large red house, the young man he'd walked back over to his group, and he kind of sees everyone kind of coming together, and he holds up his hand to his friends and kind of excuses himself, and he walks over towards you guys. And he's kind of waving as he walks over. He's got a nice bright smile on his face. As he gets to you, he says, hello. You are the group that's been sent here, right? I was just speaking to Vanya.
Oh, yes. We're the heroes here to save your mine.
Oh, honestly, we are all going to be in your debt if you can get this done. The mayor's just in his house. If you want to speak to him, he kind of knows all the information. He'll be the best guy to speak to if you want to. Hopefully, get on with this as quick as you can.
We'll see what we can do.
Lovely. Come, follow me.
It's a bit rude that he's not out here to meet us, isn't it? We've
Well,
come all this way to help.
we were never
and he's
told when
off
you would
bouncing
arrive.
about in his house.
This is the type of stuff you get from those in charge. They rarely ever come out.
We were never told when you would arrive. We sent out word for help. I think it was about 2 months ago, and we've been waiting ever since. We've had no word. We were kind of worried that no one was going to show up. So I'm sure the mayor will give you his apologies.
We're lucky the job pays so well.
But if you'd follow me, and he kind of turns
Well,
around.
lead on then. Go on, lead on.
Yes, of course. My apologies. He turns around and he walks over to the door in this large red house. Now, for most of you, it seems like a very, very large door. But for Vanya, it seems like a door that's pretty normal for your kind of height. How kind of tall are you as a Goliath? If I can just ask.
I think around. Let me check. I think maybe 6, maybe a bit more. Feet. Let's go like. I cannot find the.
Okay, well,
let's go like 6.5.
6.5. Okay. So,
yeah.
in fact, actually, usually you're used to kind of doors being a bit too small for you, but this door looks like it's even a bit big for you. It looks like it's been built for a very large person, or a grand entrance. And as the young man walks up to the door, he kind of knocks on it with a special pattern where he kind of knocks 3 times quickly, and then waits, and then knocks twice again. And he just turns around. He'll be out in a moment. So yeah, lovely weather we're having today, right?
You don't need
Uh,
conversations.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, in this valley, I don't know if we get any good weather at all.
Oh, I mean, this is about as good as it gets. I mean, I have to say, and he's kind of cut off by the sound of a big kind of clank behind the door as you hear something kind of disengage from behind the lock, and it kind of sinks slightly in its frame, and it's pulled inwards. Sorry. As a man, kind of, he stoops underneath the doorway, and he steps out. And the first thing that you'll probably notice is the fact that he is some sort of like maybe half giant, quarter giant, something like. He's definitely got some sort of giant's blood in him, as he is about 9.5 feet tall. He's a very, very big man. He looks to be quite elderly. He's got greying hair, with a very, very pronounced mustache and beard that's all kind of thick grey and bits of white here and there. Very thick eyebrows. Very, very thick creased wrinkles adorn his face, and he's got a very large golden kind of neck piece that kind of goes across his shoulders and down to his chest, that's got lots of nice fancy gems kind of built into it. And he kind of stoops to the doorway and stands up, and he looks around down at everyone, and he notices you guys as a group, and he lets out a very deep breath. Oh, thank God. You are adventurers, I assume.
Yes,
I'm
young
guessing
man.
you're waiting for us.
We're here to see the mayor. Let us in.
Not all at once. I am the mayor.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Mayor.
Yes, you too. He reaches his very large hand down to kind of hopefully shake someone's hand.
Vanya being like probably the next tallest person to him, or like shake hands with
Yeah.
him.
His hand's like 1.5 times the size of yours, and he engulfs it with a very soft but quite firm handshake. And he goes, I am the mayor. I'm Mayor Elias Corden. It's lovely to meet you. We sent word many, many months ago, and we haven't heard anything back. Are you here to help with our problem down in the mines?
Depends what problems you have.
Well, he kind of like stands up, straightens his back a little bit, looks around at all of the villagers that are kind of crowded around outside to kind of view what's going on. Come into my house. We can have some food and some light snacks and drinks as we discuss this matter. And he kind of steps away from the doorway and holds his hand out to kind of wait for you guys to go in first.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess we enter.
Yeah, you walk in, and it's definitely not the kind of house that you guys are used to mayors living in. You're used to mayors having, rich, extravagant mansions with, like redwood banisters and like golden strips along the walls and fancy statues everywhere. And it is nice, perhaps nicer than most of the houses you've seen, but it is all pretty much made out of carved rock. There are a couple of kind of like gems here and there in the banisters, but it doesn't look very fancy. It just kind of looks like it's been done for the sake of it, right? It doesn't look like it's had too much. What's the people who design structures, architectural input in it? Just looks like someone's kind of thrown it around and been like, this will look nice.
It's like hastily put together, I'm guessing.
Yeah, kind of looks like that. As
You'd
you...
have thought the mayor would live somewhere nicer.
Oh, do you not like my house? I must
Is this
admit.
difficult, Goliath? Well, two people?
I must admit it is not the most fancy of places, and I have to say I would appreciate it if we had built it a little bigger, but alas, it was my great-grandfather that built this house.
I mean, just the chairs. The chairs are as tall as I am. Ridiculous.
Yes, it's, I have to say, very hard to accommodate for all shapes and sizes around here. We try our best. We have a few stools, perhaps, that might be more suitable for your height, but come, follow me to the dining room. And he walks through the kind of entrance lobby to an even smaller door that he's really got to duck to kind of get through. You guys are all fine, of course. And it leads you to quite a small, pretty quaint, it's kind of less of a manor dining room and more of a kind of like a cottage dining room. There's a little fireplace in the corner with a circular table. It is built for humans, and there is one chair that is large enough for the Mayor Elias. It'll kind of disappear as he walks in, and you'll hear him rummaging through one of the cupboards, and he'll pull out a small-ish little stool, and he kind of like holds it up towards you, Alistair, and kind of he gives it a bit of a look and a thoughtful, and he puts it down next to the table. There you are, my friend.
So Alistair takes the stool, sits on it, looks up at the table, because obviously tables at normal height for humans, and for someone of Alistair's height, it's a bit tall. Well, that's no good, is it? I can't see the table.
Oh,
Raven.
You need to lift me up.
Let me help with that. I'll go up and like pick up Alistair and the stool together and put them on top another chair, so that he's like probably at the level above the table.
Lovely. I would say that will bring you to
Thank you.
nice seating height.
You're welcome, sir. And Vanya will go in and I guess sit on another chair.
Lovely. So the mayor will kind of disappear into a room. I'll leave the door open. You can hear the kind of clattering and clunking of pans and pots and plates, and the pouring of some liquids here and there. Well, yes, we have been having some problems, quite grave problems actually. Oh shit! You know, a big clatter of kind of drop plates. Just sort this out. One second. We've been having a problem, quite a big problem, as I'm sure you're aware. Our humble town is a mining town. Quite a lucrative one, in fact. That's, how we make our living. We trade with other people to survive up here. It's quite a big part of how we live our lives. So I'm sure you'd understand that when we can no longer mine down in those mines, that there is quite a big issue that needs to be solved. So yes, that's why you guys have been called. And we hope you can help you with this problem.
So we're here because your mines run dry?
No, my friend, it is not run dry at all. In fact, we had just mined through into a new cavern. We think it's promising, very promising. We've had some diviners sent down. It's all quite unfortunate, really.
Okay.
I'll start
What's
from the
the
beginning.
problem? Is there like a troll in there living, or
No.
like a salamander sleeping in the caves?
I will start from the beginning, my friends. From chapter 1, as it were. The villagers have recently started referring to the caverns as the Forsaken Caverns, as multiple people have been going missing over the past few months. The last news that we've had from a mining team is that we had finally found signs of another cavern that may have held more gems. A really good thing for us. The next day, we sent a group down to try and divine this cavern, learn more about it, see if it was worth us mining towards it. And the entire mining group did not return. And ever since then, the miners have been reporting sounds of loud rumbling. Not uncommon in a mine, as I'm sure you might be aware. There's been strange movements in the darkness. Torches have been dying before they should. Strange purple lights at the corners of people's visions. And after more people disappeared, I decided we should cease work in the mines so some people can investigate. As I said, it's been about 2 months since that point.
Okay.
So
It's
what do you think?
interesting.
Do you think it's what do you think's happening? Do you think it's gas or do you think it's something else?
Well, as I told you, I did send some people down there to try and learn. I sent one of our most qualified people. He's a mage, a wizard of sorts, a wizard scout fella. He's quite powerful, called Ezekiel down there. He's the one who helps us divine and, avoid things like gas pockets. And he is unfortunately one of the group who did not return. So I cannot tell you any more than the rumours that I've been hearing.
Just out of curiosity, do you think that someone in town may have killed them or like decided to capture them? Do you know
Oh.
if anyone's like, oh, I want to like get all the spoils for myself, or anything like that?
I have to say that is becoming a worry amongst the other villagers. In such a small, isolated community, we are all one big family, but some people have started to worry that it is simply some greedy hands. But I myself, my family have been mayor of this town for many, many generations. And I used to hear some stories as a child, suggesting that the mine's history might be connected to some dark magic. And I think it may be linked to those stories. I have no evidence, but I think there's a high likelihood that it's true.
So you want us to go and find your missing people and find what's making them missing?
Yes, the people are really the priority, as I would much rather have them back than have the gem mine working here again, but we can always move, you understand, but if you can get the mine to be safe again, we will be in your debt. There's great rewards for you.
Now, rewards?
Hmm.
Tell us more about the rewards.
A man after my favours. There is a few things that we can offer. Meats, hides, foods, of course. But we're a gem mining town. And it's about this point he comes out of the cupboard with a platter of glasses. And like each hands you a glass of some kind of faint purplish liquid that looks like it's kind of almost got oil in it, in the sense it's a little bit iridescent. The light kind of sparkles as it goes through it. He puts one in front of each of you. He hasn't got different sized glasses, so you all got your normal sized mug. And he takes a seat at his large chair. We have great rewards. I will show you the things that we have on offer after your drinks. How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
I appreciate the offer, but I prefer to avoid drinking before a job.
Oh, it's not alcoholic. It's think of it as some sort of juice. It
Can
is.
I like give it a little sniff?
Yeah.
To see if like
You can give it a little sniff. It smells probably not like something that you've really smelled before. It smells a little bit kind of like apple-ish blueberry kind of scent. It doesn't smell alcoholic at all. And as you're giving it kind of like a sniff, the mayor will go, "It is what we drink down in the mines. It keeps you very hydrated, full of energy, very useful."
I like get a little sip to.
Yeah, it tastes
like
very nice. It
make-
just tastes like a bit like a summer fruits cordial drink kind of thing. It's definitely not the best thing that you've ever drunk, but it's better than most.
Well, after finding out that there's probably nothing suspicious about the drink, Vanya would end up like drinking the rest of the juice.
Lovely.
Raven's gonna slide his over to Davis. So I don't need to drink this.
Oh yes. Sorry, I
Alison,
just didn't want to assume that you couldn't drink. You know,
It's fine. There's nothing
I
else.
felt it was best to put the offer on the table.
I
So,
appreciate it.
is there anything else that you'd like to know about our mine?
You mentioned stories of dark magic.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
I was very young and I cannot remember them very well. There was just some tales of ancient wizards who did something with the gems. That is what gems are useful for. That's why they're valuable. They look very pretty, but they're also very useful in lots of different magical. I'm not a magic person myself, but spells, I believe, rituals, I think is what a lot of people use gems for. Maybe you can enchant them in some way. I think they are quite valuable. And I think that has something to do with what the wizards were trying to do many, many centuries ago.
Mm,
have you got
okay.
a map?
Ah, that is a very unfortunate topic, as we do have a map. We do have a map indeed. There is a man, Ezekiel. I've just told you about him, haven't I? He keeps our maps. The unfortunate thing is that he has gone missing down in the mines, so we don't have any maps accessible. But we do keep maps, you know. It's something that we do. Just don't have
What
any.
about in his house? He probably should be living around here, so maybe he has spare maps of the mines and such.
Well, we did look. Of course, we wanted to give you guys whatever information that we had. But he's a wizard, as I said. We don't quite know how he works. We don't want to go investigating around his house in case he's left anything dangerous for us to find. And from far as what I understand, he kept all of his notes and maps in a book that he took with him everywhere he went. He once told me it had some sort of significance to his spellcasting abilities. I'm not quite sure on the details, but I know he took it everywhere.
So if you don't have a map for us, who are you going to send as a guide?
Oh, well, it's quite a straightforward mine. You shouldn't get lost.
Okay.
It is essentially just a straight line
Fine.
with a few caverns here and there that may interrupt your journey, but as long as you keep a torch with you. I was going to say no one's ever been lost down there before. However, that is something that's changed quite recently, so just be careful.
Yeah.
If you have any magical sources of lighting, that might be preferable. As I said, the torches were fading before they had any reason to be, which is strange. Never happened before.
Well, we'll use any torches we have on us for the time being, and when the spooky happens, well, we'll think of something else.
Yes, torches is one thing that we can give you an abundance of if you need any more. Just ask and they shall be yours. Now, has everyone kind of finished their drink, or is everyone kind of not drinking, or...
Oh yeah,
So we know Raven cannot drink it.
Yeah.
unless there's just two hands, knock it back.
Yeah. Adonis, have you finished your cup of sweet, fruity juice, or not? Oh, can you hear us?
Did we lose
Can you not hear us?
someone? Oh.
Oh,
Type something.
he said back in a sec. Mic isn't working. Okay. Well, if we want, we can use this as an opportunity for our first 5-minute break. Usually go for about an hour in. If we want, we can have our break now whilst we get this microphone sorted out. How's that sound with everyone?
I'm
That's
fine.
fine.
Lovely. So we'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Can we all see in the dark?
As a bullet, I think I might be the only one that cannot see in the dark.
I don't think Warforgers can either.
No.
And unless you're a variant human, I don't think you can either.
Wait, variants can see in the dark?
Some I think it's like an optional thing you can take if you're a, maybe it's Tasha's version of a human.
Okay.
I'm not quite
Don't
sure.
know.
But yeah, we're back. I think we may have lost Prime again though.
Yep. It's my webcam software.
Oh, right, okay. At least he's still here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just asking. I'm just asking Prime if everyone's finishing their drinks. Are you finishing your drink, or are you just kind of leaving it? Have you got more questions to ask?
Yeah, I'll finish the drink that I have, and
Mhm.
I'll just follow on everyone.
Yeah.
With, what they're doing and all that.
Lovely. So, as the last person finishes their drink, the mayor will kind of look at you all, grab his glass, down it in one, smack his lips, and he'll stand up from his chair. Well, I can show you what rewards are on the table then. Follow me, my friends.
Right, yes, because obviously rewards are important.
Well, I assume there are very few people who would do something unless they were being rewarded. Would you guys be adventurers if you weren't paid for it?
Not at all.
Hmm.
I was a soldier before this, so all this is sort of on the regular for me.
Fair.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll discuss it once we return from the mines.
lovely. As you're kind of talking, he's leading you through his house to a back room, which appears to be some sort of cellar filled with lots of barrels and crates and boxes. And he walks over to a particular barrel. And he places his hand on the top of the barrel. It's sideways in on like a rack against the wall, and he places his hand into it. And you see some kind of like magical arcane glowing around as he sinks his hand and pushes the top of this barrel forward. And it clicks, and he turns his hand, and it turns around. As he turns it, there's a wall to your left that kind of rotates in sync with him moving his hand. And it opens to reveal a small little corridor behind it. There we go. If you'd follow me, please. And he walks down the corridor. And the end of the corridor leads into a room. A very, very bright room, despite being presumably underground. The source of the illuminance is coming from all of the polished gemstones that are on the shelves adorning the walls of this room. There's many tables in the middle that are all holding trays that cradle really impressive gems, sapphires, emeralds, rubies, some diamonds here and there, all arranged perfectly in trays of kind of size and shape and different luminescence. All in kind of, trays or really elegantly carved boxes. Some of them look like they're already ready to be kind of sent off or sold in like little glass jars. And it looks to be a very large collection of gems worth a good amount of money. Yes, we have a couple of things left over that we haven't quite sold yet that we are willing to give to you adventurers should you fulfill the tasks set before you. Obviously, if you manage to put our mines back in business, there'll be a high reward on the other end. But as I said before, finding the missing people is the most important part.
So we get this lot for finding the missing people, and more if we get the mines going again.
Bless you.
Thank you. Not quite all of this, my friend. We'll give you some.
We'll bring some of your people back.
I'm hoping you shall. Now, has any of you got any reason that you might be aware of the value of gems? Are any of you particularly Do you have a proficiency with like a jeweler's kit? Or do any of you have any reason that gems might be something you would know about and want to roll a history check?
I ain't got nothing.
No?
No, I don't have anything.
Yeah, okay. Then all things said, this room could be worth anywhere between 5 gold pieces to a few 100,000. You guys aren't quite sure. But it's very, very opulent. Very, very pretty.
Barclay.
Yeah, sparkly. Sparkly and pretty. And he kind of turns around and kind of ushers you back down the corridor. Well, yes. We'll give you some gems. Very useful pieces of kit. Should you want them? Yes, as unfortunately we don't really deal in gold. We trade our gems for, food, resources. I think most of our gold is in banks down in the major cities. So yes, it'll be in gems, your reward. I hope that isn't a problem. As he puts his hand back in the barrel and closes the doorway again. And he starts walking you back through his house. Now, if you guys don't have any problems or more questions, then, well, you're off to save some people, I think.
Into the mines.
Yeah.
Yes. Is there any resources that you would like? We can give you, I don't know, pickaxes if you think that might be useful, some torches, a couple of rations here and there, never go amiss. Whatever you wish.
I'll take a pickaxe if that's right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in case like someone is under some rubble, you might be in need of at least a pickaxe and a shovel.
Of course, we can provide you with tools of the trade, no problem.
Yeah, I'll take a pickaxe and a shovel.
Yeah.
One of those things I can just stick on my back.
Yeah, lovely. The mayor will lead you into a kind of a closety room. Well, he'll walk into a closet room and start handing you out whatever kind of tools you want for mining, some pickaxes, some shovels, buckets, any torches that you guys would like. So you can just make a note of however many you would like, really. He's got quite a large supply of them, as it is kind of the whole reason that this town is actually here. So you can take whatever you want as long as you can, reasonably carry it upon your person.
Do you have a giant one for the gnome?
We have a few larger
A big
pickaxes.
bucket that I can sit in. Someone
Yeah,
can
the Goliath
help me.
can bring you around, walk you around in the bucket.
Yeah, I'll have a couple of larger buckets if you want a big bucket.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, do you have more of that paint that you use for your buildings?
No, this is the only building that we've painted. It is something that we're looking to trade for, as we think a bit of colour might spruce up the area.
That's a pity.
Now, I understand some of you can't see very well in the dark.
Well, I usually patrol during the day, so the mines is the first time I've been
Well-
going in, so yeah.
As long as I can take a rest afterwards, because it takes a lot out of me. But I can let 2 of you see in the dark. But it'll, like I said, I'll need to rest because it takes a lot out of me.
I should be fine. My sword glows.
No, I'm not used to fighting in a mine. Mine's more open. On a beach.
Well,
In cities.
if worst comes to first, I'll be the first to protect you guys. So if you need to run, yeah, just stay behind me.
But I will take the dark vision if you're willing to.
All right. Yep. Like I said, I'll need to rest for a bit afterwards because it takes a lot out of me. Bend over. Come down here. Come down here.
Okay.
He just puts a stick.
Hold this for me.
As he hands over the walking stick,
Right. Close your eyes.
and it just slaps you on both eyes. And you see, for a moment, you see stars, and it's not pleasant. It doesn't particularly hurt. As he casts dark vision on you.
Adonis, with his eyes closed, he sort of pushed back a bit, and then he realizes that you've given him the ability of dark vision. He's like, "Oh wow, is this what everyone else sees?"
Yeah,
That's what I see.
And it will last for 8 hours.
lovely.
Bloody hell.
Yeah,
Nice.
as you're looking around. You
Anybody
can
else
see-
want one? I can do one more, but I do need to rest because it is very tiring.
Vanya, I believe you might need it.
Well, I don't want to tire you, old man. I mean,
I need to rest
if
anyway.
you need to be, I'll just put you on my shoulder and give you time to rest if that works.
Can
That's
I?
a DM. That's a DM call because I want a short rest after burning through stuff.
Yeah, I'll say you can have a short rest whilst being carried around, as long as you're not doing anything overly strenuous. A short rest is just kind of light activity, right? And
Yep.
so as long as you're not walking
Fantastic.
around, I think if you're being carried, I
Right.
imagine you can short rest.
So bend down then. Come down here because you're very tall. Come down. Down, down, down.
Instead of bending over, Vanya would like come and like pick you up into the air.
Well, that's not very nice, is it? All right, hang
Well, I
on.
thought that's.
And it just
Might be
reaches
better
up-
if you're just up in the air
Yes.
with the rest of us.
Yep. And this time pokes you in the eyes. Not hard, not hard, but it's uncomfortable. And
Ah,
you now have 8 hours worth of dark vision.
that wasn't pleasant. You could have told me.
It wasn't. It's not pleasant. You saw me do it before. It's not pleasant, but it works. Now put me down.
Raven's kind of glad that you
Big
got
up.
this sorted out.
Putting you down, she'll like put you on the shoulder.
Okay, that'll do.
Just don't fall.
What?
So, yep. So that's 2 dark visions I've cast.
Lovely.
Nice.
So, because I can only do 2.5.
Okay.
How did you give a half? You just poke one eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, so both of you can now see kind of further into the shadows at the corner of the room, and everything seems a little bit lighter than normal. A very, very useful skill. Yeah, the mayor has happily handed you out any kind of amount of pickaxes or mining tools that you would like: ropes, torches, pickaxes, any rations, you know, kind of like hardtacks, stuff like that. Pouches of water that you would like for your venture down into the mines.
So, and just so you're aware, the dark vision is 60 feet, and it, like I said, it lasts 8 hours.
Lovely, thanks for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
You like put it in the chat?
you can just make a note of it on your character sheet that you've got dark vision for 8 hours.
Yeah. Alright, that works for me.
And yeah, the mayor gets out of the little cupboard that he was kind of throwing stuff at you. Kind of stands up. Well, that's all we have. You're welcome to. Well, that's about it, really. As I said, focus on trying to get some people out.
We'll try our best.
Lovely. Yeah, well, you're welcome to go.
Come on then, mule. Let's go.
Yeah, don't want to waste this dark vision.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess. Are we like at the front of the entrance? Or no?
Yeah, you're
never
just by the front door of the mayor's house.
mind. Okay.
So yeah, he kind of like ushers you out. And you can go back out onto the
Well,
streets
we'll
where there's
Yeah, we'll just go out and
Yeah.
head over to the mines if they're visible, or do we need to like, continue searching?
yeah, no, the mines were visible. Remember when you walked in, you could see them. They were kind of the centerpiece of the village.
Okay.
Yeah, you walk out. There's kind of a small huddle of people by his door. That when you kind of like open the door and walk out, they kind of all break up a little bit, and split up as a group and split up from the group and go back to doing whatever activities that they were scheduled with in the morning.
Make way, make way. I've got my riding Goliath. Don't want to get run over.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, how like steep are the stairs? Or is there like a wooden elevator that the miners did for themselves?
So
Get
there's
down
just
to
a
the
kind of
mine.
like a slope that goes around the mine with a mine cart on it. There's and like a little just a ramp next to it that kind of goes down into the ground, or opens up into the larger cavern.
Okay.
Raven's just going to start going down.
Giddy up.
Yeah, I'll start walking with Raven.
Yeah, as I said, you
Get into the.
start to walk down into the mines, and it's very dark because there is no torches. They've turned off all the torches. Not turned off, but extinguished all the torches. And so as you're descending further and further down into the mine, it does start to get quite dark. There's still quite a large amount of natural light leading in, but by the time you get to the flat floor, it's relatively difficult to see for those of you that don't have dark vision. But
I was
for-
gonna say, can I like light up a torch?
Yeah.
Like I know that she has dark vision right now, but it's more like out of instinct. Like
Yeah,
it means
yeah, of
light
course.
up torch.
Yeah, I mean, dark vision only lets you see in kind of like greys and whites. You don't really see in colour, so having a torch is always useful.
At this point, Raven will also draw his sword, letting the light do its thing.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Raven has a glowing long sword that emits, I think, a little bit more light than a torch actually.
Creating bright light in a 15-foot radius and dim light for an additional 15.
I think that is about a torch then actually. I think that's the same as a torch. But yeah,
Should be, yeah.
so Yeah.
Anyways, it's never bad to have more lights.
definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And if the torch disappears, well, we'll know something is around us.
yeah. So you kind of walk past down the old worn rail tracks, and you get down into kind of like the main flat area, which seems to be kind of like the main like station area for the mines. As there's kind of like piles of rocks here and there, neat piles of pickaxes and tools, and a couple of small tables and maybe some kind of desks that look like they have some sort of kind of like appraisal tools on them, like magnifying glasses and little chisels and such like. And there's a few piles of what look to be like kind of like unrefined ore with kind of like bits of gold kind of streaming through them here and there. And you find yourself
Okay.
in the main part of the mine. You can see around you that there is only one real main tunnel that's held up with kind of large wooden beams, cross bracing and all of that kind of stuff, with torches in the wall that again aren't lit. But it seems to be very well travelled. They've again got a minecart track that's kind of leading deeper into the mine, disconnected from the one up top. But yeah, this is kind of where you find yourself.
How long does it take us to get down?
Not very long, about, yeah, probably we're talking 3-4 minutes,
No.
light walking.
As we are going down, can I be like on the lookout to listen for any noises and such?
Yeah, of course. Do you want to roll me a perception?
I'd like to do that as well.
Go
That's
for it.
right.
Yeah. Anyone who would like to be on the lookout can roll a perception. And let me know what you've rolled.
So that was wait, was it another? Oh no, it's a. What did I roll? Oh, it's 4. My bad.
12.
Roll. 12.
I'm rolling well today.
14.
A 14.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, 14.
14. Do we have a perception from Raven?
Yeah, but I'm looking out for any like prey or signs of where the previous group left,
Okay,
if there's anything like that.
go for it.
Yeah, I got a 13.
You got a 13. Okay. So we'll go for that first. So with a 13, looking for signs of people that have travelled down the mines before, you find a lot of them. This mine is very, very well travelled. You know, heavy signs of operations down here. The floor itself is kind of like worn smooth from many, many decades of feet traversing across them. Very hard to make out any kind of trail from one another, especially as it's rock. You know, people aren't leaving behind footprints or anything like that. But everyone else, yeah, as you're going deeper and deeper into the mines, you can feel, you know, the dust starts to clog your senses a little bit. A nice smell of kind of, you know, like cool, damp earth. But other than that, you don't spot any of these things that the mayor was telling you about. No weird shadows in the corners of your eyes or purple light. Kind of touches the edges of your vision at all. But Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's
I was
okay.
just gonna go like as we were like walking down. I'll just like turn towards Alistair and say, "Are you doing there, Alistair, sir?"
Yes, I'm doing fine, Mule. Keep going, keep going.
All right. Are you guys okay there? As like she shouts to the when like walking forward ahead of her.
Yep, doing good.
Just as a thumbs up.
Okay, just be careful if you don't know what's down here. If there is anything down here.
Okay.
Remember to keep smart with your footing. Make sure you can feel solid ground.
Yeah. And yeah, as I said, you find yourself in the larger kind of antechamber of the mine with that one tunnel leading off into the. This is where it gets to full darkness, kind of down this tunnel. You can see maybe 20-30 feet into it before the natural light from outside kind of cuts out, and any light from your torches or dark vision is what kind of takes over.
Okay. Can I like do like a small wow? See if there's any echo.
Yeah, go for it. Now, would there be an echo? This is something that I haven't planned for. I think probably not. I don't think there's going to be that much of an echo. It will probably echo up because the mine shaft kind of goes into the ground. It'll echo up to the outside, but it won't echo further down into the mine shaft, no.
Okay.
It'll just kind of hit the solid rock around you and be absorbed into it.
Just want to see if there's any echo. That's all. Yep. But besides that, I'll just continue being on the lookout to like see if I hear any, I guess, bats and I don't know, the walls crumbling and stuff.
Okay.
So are we in like an antechamber now?
Yeah.
So like a part inside of.
Yeah, you're in a large cavern at the end, like just down the ramp, which leads off into the tunnel, which is presumably the main mine. You're in an area with lots of tools and piles of ore. It looks to be kind of like a processing area. Little tables with kind of magnifying glasses and such on them. Chisels and all of that.
Can I go looking around the antechamber to see if there's been any recent movement, at least?
Yeah, you can do me an investigation. What's everyone else going to be doing in the meantime? Because that'll take you a couple of minutes.
I guess I don't know. I'll just be like looking around, seeing to make sure everything is like
Yeah, I'm gonna
intact.
look around for like any traps or anything.
Okay, sounds
See if
like
anyone's like laid any booby traps or anything.
yeah, it sounds like you're all doing some investigation.
Okay.
You have a feeling.
What? I think that was a 1.
A natural one?
Yep, already.
Ooh, lovely.
Get my terrible rolls out of the way.
That's a 13.
I think Alistair's actually just trying to get comfortable on the back of this mule.
Lovely. So that was an 11 and a
Excuse
13
you.
and a natural one.
Van is not someone's view.
Okay, so yeah, you can do some investigating around, and it does seem like it hasn't been touched for a while. There is starting to become kind of like a thinnish layer of dust on a lot of the tools and the tables around. From what the mayor said, they haven't been down in a couple of months. So yeah, there's definitely some dust covering everything, but it all seems to have been with obviously Adonis with the natural one. You don't find too much in the way of traps or anything like that, but with the 11 and the 13, you can find that there is kind of the signs of it being kind of left in a bit of a hurry. You can see most of things are in kind of neat piles, but you do see the odd kind of pickaxe here, the kind of like tumble of rubble here if people have kind of just like left it in a bit of a hurry. Things have just kind of been thrown to the side. But all in general, it looks to be quite... Yeah, go on.
Go on. No, go on. I'll let you explain.
Yeah.
Apologies.
In general, it just seems to be quite neat and tidy.
Okay. she would like Vanya would look around the area and say, "Guys, I think miners used to be here. I'm not sure if they saw something. I don't know. It looks kind of in a disarray. Makes me worried that I don't know something could be here."
Well, it's our job to take care of it, so we keep pushing further.
Hmm. Can I, before we go down, can I like go to the walls and try to touch them to like check for any like I guess secret doors or maybe find out any magical doors?
You just kind of going around pushing the wall to see if anything moves.
Yeah, trying to like get a feel of it to like notice maybe something that's off.
Okay, yeah, you can give me another investigation for that then. That's also going to take you a while, so everyone else has another little bit of time to do something if they would like to. Or you can all just kind of wait.
Is there any more like adjoining tunnels, or just the?
There's only that one tunnel that you can see. 10 on an
I
investigation.
think
Go on.
I'm going to have to cast minor illusion. And make a small section of wall, about 5 foot by 5 foot, look like it might be a door. Might be something strange.
Got
about
to-
it. Might open.
So with
Can I do an investigation check on that?
yeah, what's your spell save DC? It's presumably above a
Oh,
10.
it's not very high.
Presume it's above a 10 though.
The spell, yeah, it's 14.
14. Okay, so so as Vanya's looking around the room, you come to a section of rock, and it looks like there's a little bit protruding that looks a little bit like a doorknob, and you can kind of make out the outline of like a rectangle in the wall. It's very, very faint and almost imperceptible, but you've done a very good job of looking around. And it seems like you might have found a
Oh,
hidden
like-
door.
Okay, I'll like give it a knock, a bang on the rock for a
Yeah.
moment.
You give it a knock, and it sounds very, very solid. It sounds like solid rock.
Can I try to like I guess grab where the doorknob is supposed to be?
Yeah, so it's like this little
And
bit of
try
rock.
to like pull to see if it opens or something.
Yeah, so with minor illusion, I think your hand will just go right through the doorknob, right? Because it's not. It's minor illusion isn't a physical. It's not physical.
No, it's
is it?
not. No, any interaction with it will break the illusion.
Yeah, so you put your hand on the little bit of rock that looks like it's kind of a handle, and it disappears as your hand kind of goes through it.
It's just rock. Okay. And she'll just like walk away from the spot and I guess regroup with the other three.
Okay. But yeah, other than that, you don't see any signs of a hidden entrance or a back door.
Down this tunnel, because Raven's gonna go to the tunnel while waiting for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
He just wants to peer into the darkness, and is it like just completely dark, no light?
Yeah, no, there's no light. It's a mine shaft. There's no torches lit in it. I mean, you can see obviously the light from your sword and the light from the torches are kind of going down it, and they are breaking the darkness from what you can see.
He's just gonna throw like a little rock down the tunnel. He's gonna try and do it so it like bounces from one wall to the other side though.
Okay. Yeah, so you throw a rock down the tunnel, and a rock is thrown down the tunnel.
Is there extinguished like torches on the walls?
Yeah. There's torches on the walls that just look to have burned out or been put out as they've kind of left the mine.
If I was to put a torch to it, would it light back up?
Yeah, you can put a torch to one of them, and it will light back up slowly
Yeah.
and steadily.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just relight the torches as we.
Yeah, there's lots.
As we go-
There's lots
as
of
we
them.
go
They're
through.
kind of every 5 to 10 feet or so, there's a new torch on the left or the right wall. Yeah, are you guys heading down this tunnel then, or have you got more investigating to do in this main area?
Sorry, are we still near the like open area where the table is with all the?
Yeah, you're still in the
Uh,
open area, but you're looking down the tunnel entrance at the moment, I think.
Okay.
Fanny's just finished looking for hidden entrances and has found none, and you're all kind of grouped up at the tunnel entrance.
Can I take one of the torches off the wall and just like throw it down the
Yeah, throw it down the
throw
tunnel.
it down at the entranceway to the mine shaft?
Yeah, do you want to give me a strength check?
Yep.
Or dexterity, I guess. It's up to you.
That's a natural 20.
Lovely. So you.
I'm doing this on D&D Beyond now.
Yeah, that's fine. So with a natural 20 on your torch throwing abilities, you kind of like lob it down, and it's quite hard to throw something so straight down a tunnel, but you manage it. And it flies down the tunnel about, we'll say it goes about 90 feet down the tunnel. And like bounces off the floor once, it kind of skims a little bit, does a couple of twirls. And it kind of like lands and scatters across the rock a little bit, about 90 feet down. And yeah, it probably allows you to see that the tunnel does have a slight kind of downward slope to it. Not very much, but it is there. But you don't spot any, I don't know, evil monsters lurking in the darkness from where you've thrown the torch.
Okay. So, I guess we continue on.
Okay. Yeah. If you're going down the tunnel, then is everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Lovely. So as you
Yeah, I mean,
start to head down the tunnel, yeah, as I said, this tunnel is very well travelled. Heavy signs of mining is very visible. There's very, very strong wooden beams that kind of make the whole structural design of the tunnel. There's very, deep carved kind of lines, like pickaxe marks in the walls. You can't really spot any natural rock around. It's literally all just like pickaxed away. There's no like natural formations in the rocks.
How high is the ceiling?
The ceiling is going to be about 10 feet high. So, there's room enough to kind of swing an axe over you. Well, for you, there's room enough to swing an axe over your head, but for everyone else, there's about room to swing an axe over your head as well. If you are ambushed by anything. But, yeah, as you get about 30 feet down into the tunnel, you'll probably notice that the light from the torch that you threw down is kind of starting to fade and dim down a little bit. It starts to kind of like flicker, as torches do. Flickers. A flicker kind
Yeah,
of
as
goes
they die.
yeah, on and off as it starts to die, until it just
can I?
Yeah.
Go on. Or just
yeah, as it's just going to flicker off, and the tunnel goes back to being dark, and you can only presumably see about 60 feet in front of you.
Can I roll for history to figure out if I know why like this might be happening? Obviously, lack of oxygen, but I mean, Vanya probably. I want to see if Vanya knows.
Of why the torch might be petering out. Yeah, you can try and roll a history if you want.
Like obviously, my guess is like oxygen is running out and there is not enough for the flame to burn on.
Okay. Yeah, you can roll a history for sure.
So that's how much? 15.
A 15. With a 15, yeah, you've heard that torches need good levels of oxygen to burn brightly, so that could be an option. However, the torches that you are holding seem to be working fine. They're not really flickering much at all. They seem to be still burning just as brightly as they would outside. So there is that option, maybe just further down the tunnel there's even less oxygen. But it kind of has made you start to think that perhaps there is something else that does not like the light around here. Because your torch, as I said, seems to be fine.
Yeah. I'll just like mutter on something under my breath. I guess like Alistair would be the one that will notice this as Vanya is wondering if there's like low oxygen levels in this area.
Oxygen? What's oxygen? I mean air. You're breathing. You're not dead, so there's got to be air.
Yeah, but don't you see the torches around us? I wonder if there's like
They're old.
less oxygen.
they're much older than the ones we've got. We've got new torches. New things last longer than old things. Well, unless you're me. Old things like me last forever.
Yeah, I don't know.
What
It-
are there?
It's just something to be worried about. Like don't want to like find out that the miners were died because they didn't have enough oxygen in their lungs to continue mining and stuff, and they
If the air gets
Fainted.
bad, just hold your breath.
While they're talking, Raven's going to go pick up the torch that's on the ground.
Yeah, you've been continuing to walk, so you'll get to the point where this torch has been thrown. Yeah, you'll find it's just lying on the ground, as a normal torch would.
Strange.
Did you say it had gone out, or it's like
Yeah,
starting to
Yeah,
go?
no, it had
go
gone
up?
out. It had gone out by the time you've arrived at it.
Okay. Just trying to think if maybe touching the torch to see if it was still hot would tell me anything. Like, is it severe cold?
Yeah, you can
It's,
kind of, I guess, like hold your hand like close enough to feel that it does still have some warmth coming off of it.
Okay.
It does feel like it is a torch that has just ran out
Just
of
been
torch.
lit and then thrown.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Do you want to try it again? Light it again and throw it again.
Yeah, can I try and light it again and throw it?
Yeah, you can light it again. It'll light up as a torch would. Yeah, do you want to give us another strength check?
It was Dex last time.
Yeah, you can do either or.
23.
23. Yeah, the 23. It'll go again, almost the same distance. And it'll continue to slide a little bit after it lands as the floor is sloped slightly.
Okay.
But yeah, the same thing will happen as you start to walk towards it. It'll slowly die and go out before you can reach it.
If we back up, does it start glowing back up?
No, if you back up, it still stays out.
Okay. It wasn't something to do with us.
That's a good idea.
Well,
though.
cursed.
I've run some campaigns where people have never done stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just the way you said it. It's like as you get closer to it, it's like,
Yeah.
what happens if we back up? Does it come back to light? So that
No,
Yeah.
no, this one doesn't. But I like the thinking.
always good to think like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we notice anything yet, or is just a quiet cave?
Seems to just be a quiet cave for now. Yeah.
Would I be able to do a perception check to see if there's anything around?
Yep, at this point of the mine, yeah, you can do if you want. Or do you want to just try and just roll it for the journey? Be perceptive along the journey if you would like.
I'll do one for the journey.
Okay.
Yeah, if Raven does one for the journey, I'll do one for the like our area now.
Lovely.
See if there's anything there.
I've got 21.
Nice.
Okay.
Well done.
Oh, I've got 10.
10. I mean, yeah, with a 10, it doesn't seem like there's anything really out of the ordinary. As you're looking around to see if there's anything that may have put out the torch, you can't really find anything.
What's the air like? I'm guessing it's like fairly cold down there.
It's quite cold, yeah. It feels quite thick with dust, but it's definitely still breathable. But yeah, it's quite cold, slightly damp.
My saliva's going to be grey coloured now.
Yeah, yeah, it's not
For the
very
next
pleasant.
3 weeks.
But I don't think these guys have quite yet discovered the the problems that happen to you when you mine for too long, or maybe they just use magic to deal with it. Yeah, so
Fair enough.
nothing
So-
seems to be out of place around you. So if you're just continuing,
Continue down.
so you take a short journey through these tunnels. You pass a couple of smaller caverns, which seem to be kind of like pockets of gems or ore that has been mined out and now have nothing of value in them. It's kind of like on your path. So nothing kind of splits off in a direction, or it's just you're walking through an area where the tunnel probably widens up to reveal a larger kind of like space where things have been mined out. And you walk through a couple of them, smaller caverns and more of these telltale signs of the careful mining with strong wooden beams and structural designs. Everyone seems like they've been paying good attention to, like proper mining specifications. But after you've been traveling now for a good maybe hour and a half down the mines, the kind of the smartness and kind of the safeness of the structures around you kind of starts to give way. Some of the wooden boards seem to be less kind of like smooth and less pristine. Some of them seem to be even broken in some places. The walls themselves start to become a lot less smooth and more rough. Places there seems to be even kind of cracks in the rock, whereas previously they seem to have kind of holed up the cracks with like bits of wood to kind of prevent any cave-ins.
As enough time's passed, Alistair's gonna jump down from Vanya.
Yep.
Feeling all nicely rested.
Yep.
But he jumps down. And the other thing you notice, his clothing. Whereas it was all browns and tatted, clothing's not really changed its shape, but it's all black. Everything he's wearing is now black. All black and greys. It's blending in quite nicely with the darkness. He's standing up a little bit straighter. All right, let's go. Come on then.
Okay. Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
Let's,
Just his clothing looks different.
Fancy.
looks like you're blending into the environment here.
Yeah, he does seem very comfortable in the dark.
Yeah.
That's what we like to hear.
If anything goes missing on my character, I know who to play.
Yeah, so it all starts to give way to more kind of like roughly hewn mining, and kind of looks like people have paid less care and attention to these parts of the mines. You start to hear the very faint kind of drip of water from far down the tunnel that gets steadily louder and louder over the course of the next kind of half an hour.
Can I investigate the beams if like they're just like sloppy woodwork, or maybe
Yeah.
they were like
Yeah, okay.
damaged
Do you
by
have
something?
proficiency with maybe carpenter's tools, or do you just want to roll kind of like an intelligence?
I guess no, I don't have carpenter's tools, but
Yeah,
like,
you can just roll
investigate
an
for me.
intelligence then, or an investigation to see if you can guess.
I'm guessing woodcarver's tools is different.
No, yeah, you can use that as well. If you're proficient with them, then you can
Yeah.
roll that with advantage.
So that's an 8.
No modifier, I'm just guessing roll twice and take the highest.
With woodcarver's tools, it would be your intelligence. Basically, you just roll intelligence, and then I think you would plus your proficiency onto it.
Ah, right. Okay.
If you're proficient with the tools, and then you can have
That's
advantage because you're using the tools. Well, not because you're using the tools, but because you are good with the tools.
Yeah, so 18.
An 18. So with an 8, it's kind of quite hard to tell really one way or the other. You're not really skilled enough in woodwork to determine if it's worn or just shoddy designing. But yeah, Adonis, I imagine you've probably spent a good time as a soldier, probably putting up kind of temporary things out in the field, like little wooden huts and kind of shelters,
Yeah,
things like that.
like
So
barricades,
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, exactly. So you'd probably be aware that this does seem to just be kind of like carelessness and like just lack of concern that the mine might fall in. It seems like, people have just kind of like, cut it improperly, and there's bits that just are a bit weaker than the others. It kind of narrows in places where it shouldn't really narrow. Some of the nails that have been used to kind of hammer it all into place have actually just missed and gone kind of like out the other side of the wood. And it just speaks to a careless craftsman.
Okay. So there's nothing that stands out. It's just like really shoddy work.
Yeah, it's just over the course of the mine, perhaps there's been new employees, or maybe the older miners have died and the younger generation just haven't really cared as much, as there hasn't seemed to have been any accidents before. But yeah, it's definitely just lack of care.
Okay.
So Alistair's going to move forward. It's going to move outside the light.
Okay.
So, in effect, he's going to take a point position. But just before he goes out the light, you notice he picks up his walking stick. It's a flick. And it looks more sturdy. You're not sure how or why, but it just looks better. A little more wacky.
Okay.
And
There's something off about this man.
Oh. So if you're walking further into the darkness, then what is your passive perception, please? On your character.
Well,
On
passive perception is 16.
16. Where did I write down the DC? Oh, please. I'm fairly certain that's high enough. Yes. Okay. So as you head off into the darkness ahead of everyone to do a little bit of forward scouting, just a few paces into the dark, your foot kind of hits a little bit of rock on the floor, and you stumble slightly and kind of look down to see what it was. And you see there is a little bit of rock protruding, but just next to the rock is what looks to be some sort of notebook. It's kind of open with its spine facing upwards, pages down on the ground. It's kind of like hand-sized. It's relatively small, kind of like one of those ones that you flip the pages up on. And it's just lying there on the ground, in the middle of nowhere. Nothing else really around it. It's just there.
It's going to stop and take a moment. Can see out to 60 feet, but going to close eyes and just see if we can get a feel for anything else. So it's just a sound perception, I suppose.
Yeah, you can roll for a perception
Just
if you want.
anything.
Yeah.
So let's see if I get a decent roll finally. Oh, I do. I get 26 with a nat 20.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
So
Well done.
you kind of stood in the darkness, and you just open your ears to the sounds around you, and you can hear probably some faint bickering from the players behind you as they're kind of like, that guy's suspicious. What's he doing there? Some muttering from them, and yeah, you can hear the dripping of the water from much, much further down the tunnel.
Okay.
Other than that, I can't imagine you can really
No.
hear much else from here.
No, I'm not really getting any vibes of anything close. So Alistair reaches down and picks up the notebook.
Okay.
He flicks it over, quickly looks at it, and then walks back to the rest of the party, whilst appearing to be reading this notebook. But it's not. It's just got it open in front of him.
Okay.
Anybody interested in this?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Do you think it
Oh,
might be
Did
the
you
natives?
find Mr. Alistair?
There we go.
And just again, heads back into, hands the notebook over and heads back into dark. But only, I think we've got 20 foot of light.
You've got
And dim
You've
light?
got 30 feet of light, and then some people can see 60 feet of dark vision.
The dark vision can see me, but I'm beyond the light.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
30 feet. So say I'm 40 feet ahead of the party.
Okay. So yeah, about kind of where you
Like
picked up the notebook.
40 feet of dim light from the torches. But
About 10. I'm just about 10 feet beyond the light.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, probably about where you picked up the book. So I imagine the other two of you with dark vision would probably have seen Alistair reach down, pick something up, and then walk back over. Who did he pass it to? Sorry.
Who reached for it first?
I think I reached for it first.
Okay.
You get it then.
So yeah, it's this small leather-bound vertical book that opens up, and are you having a look at it?
Yeah, I'll have a look at it.
Okay.
I'll say I'll just go from the first page,
Yeah.
have a read through.
Okay. So as you start to read through, it seems to be some sort of notebook, and if you look in your inventory sheet on Foundry, there'll be a new thing in your inventory at the bottom. Which, 1 second. Yeah. And it seems to be some sort of notebook, or a little bit kind of like a diary.
What is it, Mr. Adonis?
It's just talking about the days. Would you like me to read it all out?
So To save you reading
Sure.
it all
Skim
out.
through a few pages, maybe it's like a journal or something.
To save you reading it all out, I'll say when you get to probably day. Which day is it?
142 is like the
Yeah.
last.
About the time you
Last
get
entry.
to day 78 is when it starts to get interesting. So you don't have to read them all out, but you can read a couple of them out if you'd want to tell the party.
So they opened a new tunnel section in the western part. They thought it might have been some very good treasure there.
Okay, anything else?
Yeah, it's day 82. As the stars twinkle above the entrance, I'm reminded gems are more than just rocks. They're pieces of the Earth's history, waiting to be shared with the world. I feel a deep connection to this place. Day 88. Discussions with the miners today about the legends of the mines past. Stories of lost treasure and forgotten chambers. Some scoff, others listen intently. I can't help but wonder if there's a grain of truth in these tales. Day 92. As the moon rises, I find myself alone in the quiet of the mine entrance. A cool breeze carries the scent of rain. The future is uncertain, but I'm ready to unravel the mine's mysteries to see what secrets lie within its dark heart. Day 106. I've discovered an unassuming passageway tucked away in a corner of the caverns. It's almost as if the walls themselves were trying to keep it hidden. The key to unraveling this mystery must lie within, and I am resolved to uncover its secrets, even if it means facing whatever lies ahead alone. Day 115. As I write this, I stand on the precipice of something profound. The air crackles with an intensity I can scarcely describe. My heart races, not with fear, but with anticipation. I will proceed into the hidden chamber. What awaits me, I cannot predict. But I am driven by the pursuit of knowledge, the hunger of understanding, a hunger for understanding that will not be denied. Day 142. The air in the tunnel feels charged today. The very walls hum with an energy that's both exhilarating and unnerving. My discoveries have led me to an unassuming passageway hidden behind a jutting rock. The runes on the wall throb with a power I can barely comprehend. Whatever lies within this hidden chamber must be the source of magical disturbances. My heart races with a mix of anticipation and trepidation, for I stand on the brink of unraveling the mind's secrets.
And it's at this point where the entry kind of ends abruptly. There's ink that's kind of smudged across the page, as if whoever was writing was, I don't know, suddenly dropped it or threw it away, and kind of their palm smudged some ink across the page. And the remaining pages of the journal are all blank.
Okay.
I'll keep this and put this in my backpack.
Yeah.
Quickly, is there an author at all mentioned in the notebook? Like initials, maybe?
No, not that you can see.
No, I can't find anything in this.
I'll show the notes with everyone else so they can have a little look through them if they would like.
Yeah, I'll hand the book around.
Yeah. Okay.
I just read out an entire paragraph.
Okay.
Alistair's going to go back to just beyond the light and just keep a watch out.
Okay.
He's guarding everyone, whether they know it or not.
So I imagine Adonis probably read them out loud enough so everyone could hear them.
Yeah. I was like standing there reading it as if
Yeah.
I was presenting it with
Yeah.
to everyone.
So it was jumping around in days a lot, and it's not like there's an entry between those days. It's like the entries just have random days on them. Presumably, there were just some days that you didn't write notes and some days that you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cut off very abruptly.
Well,
Okay.
anything we could do is head further into the mine.
Well, I guess we know what maybe have steering problems for the miners. Apparently, whoever the owner was of this book, they found out that there was like something magical in here, like a tomb or something. So if they unleashed the wrath of some ancient god, well, I see why they may be disappearing.
Hang on a second. If we're talking ancient gods, do we really want to play with this? Is it worth the money?
Yes.
Well, no, but I think if we can manage to find one or two survivors and take them out of the mine, it's far better than finding nothing. I mean, if you want, we can just leave now and report what we found.
No, we've been.
No, we need to save the people,
Exactly.
save the miners.
Our job is to get these people out of here.
Okay, but if danger comes in first, I suggest we run.
We need to save enough to get paid. I agree to that.
Exactly. We can leave whatever evil entity lies within the mine. As long as we keep
Exactly.
people
It's
out,
better
fine.
to leave it here and to sleep. I mean, if it was a
Thing is, if we leave
welcome-
the evil in this mine, it could find its way to the entrance, and then the village would be overrun.
For me,
Come
that's
on.
my-
Look, I'm not sure how strong you are, but if you want to tussle with the evil deities or whatever it might be lying deep in the caverns, I will not stop you. But I still wish to give you a warning that it may be beyond your powers.
Well, we still need to go find these people either way, so we have to keep going forward,
That is true.
whether we fight something or not.
If it's like a giant bat, sure, we can manage it. But if it's like I don't know, a god, I would probably refrain.
Doubt it would be a god, but we'll see.
Oh God, you jinxed it! You jinxed it now.
Here's me hurriedly changing my notes.
Suddenly, the Raven Queen appears before you.
Okay, so you are just continuing down the tunnel?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I
try
be
and
like
get-
on the lookout, like from what we were just like read about like cracks in the wall and see if I can notice anything like I guess I'm not sure if it's like investigation or arcana
Yeah, of course you
or
can.
this like
You can roll either investigation or you can, I don't know, use something like detect magic or anything like that. If you'd like to try and find whatever these notes might have been alluding to,
You want me to
Yeah.
re-roll a perception as well? Or...
you can if you would like.
I don't know what to roll. That's why I'm asking it because the note said, "Oh, like the walls were energized," and I thought, okay, it's probably magical and stuff. So maybe Arcana would be best. Or
Well, on day 106, it says that I've discovered an unassuming passageway tucked away in a corner of the caverns. So we should probably look in the corners.
okay, fair enough.
So should we backtrack to some of the caverns we found and see if there's any in there?
Maybe. I mean, I guess if like the book was left around here, it would be best for like our characters to look in this area first to see if we can find any corners, and then continue further down.
On day 78, it says that the new tunnel was discovered in the western section. So if we head over to the western section, it might be there.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, I cannot visualize the map of the cavern right now, so I don't know
So
where
far,
exactly we are.
so far, you've basically just been walking in what feels to you like a straight line. There's not been any other
Yeah.
paths or cut-offs.
Have we any idea whether we're heading northeast, southwest, or do we not know?
Well, this is where that really useless feat comes into handy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't suppose any of you have that one, do you? So I think it would be quite hard for you to tell, really, because of kind of the faint twists and turns and the raising and the falling of the cavern to tell really which direction that you guys are specifically.
Would I be able to do a wisdom check and do the? It's like a needle on a leaf in a thing of water, and then whatever direction the needle points is north.
Do you not need a magnet for that?
No.
Okay. If you could
Uh,
give me
I
a,
think it's.
if you
Sorry, what was
But
that?
also, two things. One, the needle needs to be does need to have some level of magnetism to it.
yeah, that's what I
Um,
thought.
Yeah, that's
You
what
can
I'm
make
saying.
it static, can't you?
It points north-south, so you're not sure which way is going to be north, which way is going to be south.
As I'm a Warforged, do I have magnets inside of me?
Just start taking you apart. Right, I'll need that.
Wait, quick question before we continue this. This electric attacks and such work
Um,
to magnetize the needle.
I think you can definitely make an argument for it. If you can give me a reason why you might be carrying around the leaf, then I'll allow it.
Well, it would have been blown in from outside, right?
2 hours down a mine shaft. Okay.
Or maybe through the various adventures, one got into his backpack or something.
Oh.
No, one might have been stuck on the bottom of a shoe or something.
As someone who's actually done this
Wow.
in real life, you just need something that will float.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So what? Take out a piece of. I was gonna say a piece of paper, but that won't. I'll just get
Wax
Wet.
paper will.
Yeah.
wax paper. Do we have any wax paper?
I imagine spellcasting people
No.
might have some sort of paper on them that might be useful.
Any spellcasters here? Apart from Dark
I
Vision.
don't have any paper on me.
maybe some tinder from a tinderbox?
Can we do that?
It's like a bit of dry wood, right? I think that would probably float, yeah?
Yeah.
Like crack a
Okay.
little
Yeah,
bit
no,
off.
that'll float.
Okay.
Pull out my tinder box and I guess
Snap off like
I
a little
don't
bit
know
of
how
wood.
to- Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I've never done this before, so I don't know how to roleplay. So apologies.
Yeah, you snap off just like a thin bit of wood because you wanted to float on the water. And then I
Yeah.
guess Raven. I guess Raven.
Scrape a bit of wood off the one of the posts. That'll do.
Yeah, all that. And I guess Raven will probably have some sort of thin metallic object that might work.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you were saying, Vanya, if you have an electric spell of some sort, then you can try that. What spell are you thinking?
I'll just come up to the contraptions we just made.
Yeah, so what you need to do is there's like a little needle that you need to kind of magnetize, and I'm saying if you use some sort of electrical magic on it, then I'll let that work.
I'll just point my finger towards the metal and quickly touch it as a quick shock would go through it.
Do you have a specific spell that you're going to be able to use for that?
Yes, shocking grasp.
Oh, lovely.
Use.
Okay.
Oh, lovely.
This is really cool.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, so you've got one of your buckets that you brought in. You're filling it up with some of the water from some of your canteens that you brought in. You've got a thin piece of wood floating on the top. A
Oh
little-
no, you said it was dripping, so I just stuck the bucket underneath where it was
Oh,
dripping.
no,
It
you
just
can hear
captured
you can
water.
hear a dripping noise from further down the tunnel. You haven't found the dripping
Oh,
yet.
right, okay.
I'll just use my water. I don't need to drink.
Yeah, we'll just use half
Yeah.
a water skin worth
Okay.
of water or something like that.
You've got like a little piece of metal from Raven. Place it on the top of the wood. You electrify it with a shocking grasp, and it's gonna turn to be pointing. So you say you're in the tunnel. You're facing down the tunnel, and the thing's right here. It's gonna be kind of turning, facing slightly diagonally. So it's not quite left to right. It's a little bit further, kind of like pointing, kind of like in front to the right and behind to the left a little bit. So yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Tunnels like this, you're going this way, and it's a little bit like that.
Yeah.
So if we're facing 12 o'clock down the tunnel, it's pointing
It's pointing
Right.
2 o'clock.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Okay.
So 2
So-
o'clock. And eight.
So we are heading west then.
Yeah, we're going like
I
northwest.
think it looks like we're heading west.
West or east?
Yeah. West or
Anyway,
east.
we'll find out.
We're going west.
Well, either way, it's the new part of the tunnel that they found was west. So you two go that way. Me and someone else will go the other way. If we find a part of the jutting out rock,
So you're looking
Yeah.
for a corner in a cavern, I think, at the moment, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of you are going to go forward, some of you are going to go back to a cavern that you're just in.
I don't know how we want to like. if
Yeah,
one
it's up
split,
to you
we'll
guys.
Just send one person behind us.
It's up to you.
always a good idea splitting
I
up.
mean,
Now the light
You know
sources
what?
we've got. We've got the-
you know what? Let's just. I don't know. Raven, can you like go, like I don't know, like 100 feet up the tunnel and see if you can find anything?
Yeah, I'll just go. Yeah, I'll just do that.
Yeah.
I'm shining like a beacon currently, so
Well, we'll be able to find him.
Yeah, so you just walk a 100 or so paces up the tunnel. And yeah, it's got a slight curve to it. One of the sharper turns that you've seen. Not very sharp at all, but it's one that you can visibly see from standing. And just kind of up around this slight bend, you can see that, yeah, in fact, the tunnel does open up into another one of these larger areas where they seem to have been mining kind of pockets of rare resources from. And you can see it does open up into one of them.
I'm just gonna shout in the tunnel behind me where they were and just be like, "Found an area."
Do we hear it or
Oh yeah, you can definitely hear it.
okay?
And after he said
Okay.
that, he's gonna then search the large area himself, see if he can find this weird giant rock.
Okay, so you step into there originally, and yeah, it's pretty much like all of the other ones. It's a smaller, almost square kind of room with four corners and a ceiling that's a little bit taller than the rest of the tunnel, maybe at 12, 13 feet high. And yeah, it seems to have been mined out quite thoroughly. And you can see that there's a little kind of like drop-off station for the mine cart, like there have been in all of the other little areas. And yeah, it just seems to be pretty much the same as all the others.
Okay.
I think Alistair's going to very quietly follow Raven.
Yeah, I'll follow him as well.
Quietly, as though you're wanting to roll a stealth check.
Well, why not?
Is,
Agreed not to.
is anyone else joining you in that fact, or is everyone else
Wait,
just...
are we like all together now?
No, I'm just gonna go with him.
23.
23? Okay.
Nice.
So everyone else is just walking down. So Raven, you can have a quick little investigation around the room before everyone else gets to you, if you'd like.
Yes, please. Got 19.
Well, 19. So, remembering what the note said about the corners, and there being some sort of doorway in the corner of one of the rooms. First thing you do is head to one of the corners. You head to the close left corner first, give it a kind of a quick once over. It seems to be pretty standard. Then you go to the furthest left corner, the one that, if this was west, this would be like the corner that he was talking about in his notes. You give it a little quick investigation. You stick it a little bit longer than the other ones on this one, because you're like, if there was a corner from the notes, it will be this kind of corner, you know. And as you're looking at it, you don't really see anything too different until you start to kind of get a bit hands-on and just see if you can like get your hands around any cracks or corners here and there. And you do find that there is, in fact, it's kind of a little bit like an optical illusion, where no matter what angle you look at it, it looks to be a straight wall. But you can actually put your hand around the rock from one side and feel that there is a gap behind it. You kind of put your head around and it looks like it's kind of like a large enough that you can walk through it tunnel that looks a lot more kind of like ragged and more like fresh rock than these mined out rocks. And it's very weird because it's like, it looks like it, even though you kind of got your hand there behind the rock, it still looks like it's just a solid rock wall. And it looks very, very strange, very weird. And it's about this time where you've kind of got your your hand in the wall. Everyone else will get to the room.
Kind of like more interested in this weird entranceway into this passage. He's gonna set aside his greatsword next to it, and he's gonna light a torch and then throw it down the passageway.
Okay. Well, you'll just light up the torch as everyone else gets into the room. And as you kind of strike your tinderbox and light the torch, a bright kind of orange reddish light strikes the room. And as you do this, everyone else who kind of walks in, you'll all see around this part of the wall weird purplish black, not quite tentacles, more like wisps of kind of like smoke or shadow recoil from the light of the torch and kind of absorb themselves into the rock and disappear quite quickly after the torch is lit.
Well, that's not creepy at all.
Gross tentacles. You say they were tentacles?
They're not
They
quite
like absorb
tentacles.
the torch light or something?
No, they haven't absorbed the torchlight. They've just disappeared, almost so quick that you kind of questioning, like, did I really just see that, or was it just a trick of the light?
Raven's there, just oblivious. He's just lighting the torch.
Any guesses?
Raven, did you find anything? Or anyone else find anything?
At
I
this
think
point,
he
you.
found the mouth.
Well, yeah, I found the entrance the Notes was talking about.
Ooh. Okay.
Not okay.
I rush over to the corner that he's in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw a torch down quickly.
Yeah, so you'll see Raven kind of like throw a torch almost through the wall. It's very, very strange. And yeah, you throw the torch down the tunnel, and you see more of these kind of purpley black wisps appear on, like, well, not even appear, just kind of reveal themselves along the walls. As the torch is thrown down the tunnel, it kind of like hits the floor, and as it hits the floor, the light dims drastically, and then it bounces up and it brightens again, and it hits the floor again, and it's completely cut out.
That's not great.
Throw your sword down there.
I kind of like the sword. But with that, he's gonna pick up his sword, and then he's gonna like go down this passageway.
Yeah, I'll follow on.
What's everyone else going to be doing then?
I want to like try to do like, I guess. I don't know how to do it exactly. I'm assuming like the torch is like now extinguished in the.
Yeah. So it bounced
Okay.
when it hit the floor the first time. The light like dimmed a lot, and then it bounced off the floor and it brightened again. Then it hit the floor for the last time and it was completely extinguished.
Okay, how far is the torch?
Maybe only like 10 feet down this little kind of alcove.
Okay. Okay.
Can I look back? Are the torches that I lit, are they still bright?
Yeah. So when you look back down the tunnel, you see that the torches that are kind of up to about 60 or so feet behind you, they're still lit. But you can see further past that, it looks like the ones further than kind of 60, 70 feet away from you are starting to dim and flicker, like the one that you threw down the tunnel light is. or did.
Okay.
So you've kind of got like a band of light around you, and it looks like the light any further than that seems to have been fading away slowly.
Okay, so I'm gonna quickly cast Control Flames, and I'll move like the flame from my torch to the one that's like in the, I guess, corridor or something.
Okay.
And I want to like expand it so as like it will give twice as much brightness. See if like it reveals more to the room.
Is this the torch that's in the tunnel that Raven threw, or is this one of the?
Yeah. So it goes like from the torch like holds to the one that's like on the ground somewhere.
Yeah, the torch is on the ground is extinguished, so you can move the flames from your torch to the torch on the floor.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. So the
And I
flames
want,
from
because I can do like I guess 3 different things with the spell. I would just like expand it as it like reaches to the other torch.
Yeah.
To like I guess make a 40 feet
Yeah.
wide bright light.
Yeah. Okay, so as you kind of like float it past Raven and Adonis who are walking down the tunnel, it hits the torch on the ground and it instantly starts to dim, and you brighten it with your magic, and it instantly brightens to be quite a lot brighter to reveal these kind of wisps along the wall again. But they seem to be fighting it. They seem to be attacking, almost kind of like floating and trying to take away the brightness. And they are going to be able to combat your spell enough to make it so it's just a regular torch, but it seems like your magic is able to hold it at bay to the point where it's not completely destroying the light, but it's definitely dimming it quite a bit from your enhanced torch magic.
With that, Raven will re-pick the torch up once he reaches it.
Yeah,
He's going to sheath his great sword, and he's going to pull out his arm blade.
When you pick it up off the ground, it'll go back to being a much brighter torch.
Can I look down? Is there like a fine
Wait,
mist?
from the ground? Huh.
Yeah, when Enigma picks when Raven picks the torch up, it goes back to being its enhanced light form, as long as you're keeping the magic on it. What were you saying, sorry, Prime?
Can I look at the floor, or is that like a mist type thing?
Yeah, so you'll be able to see it if you're within kind of the torchlight. So yeah, if you look at the ground within the torchlight, you can see that there is this kind of darkish mist. It's covering the rock, and it looks almost kind of like shadowy water with kind of tinges of purple. And it doesn't seem to be really doing anything to your feet. It's just kind of floating around the floor and the walls.
Could I take a glove off and like touch it to see if it like moves when I put my hand in it?
Yeah, of course. So you kind of put your hand into it, and it no, your hand just kind of goes into it. It's not very thick. It's maybe a couple of millimeters thick, but it kind of just looks like your hand goes into it. From what you can see, it doesn't look like it really moves out of the way.
Okay. Is there like any of those wisps coming towards my hand or anything?
Yeah, some of them are, but they're just kind of floating around. It doesn't really look like they're doing anything with a particular purpose. They're just doing kind of ambient movement, I guess you could say.
So has anyone...
Go on.
Has anyone got a container we can put some of this mist in?
I mean,
Yeah, I can.
we'll use. We can use one of the water skins to fill it up with whatever it is.
You have at least one empty water skin.
Yeah,
so-
I have mine open. Well, I could chuck it to them.
So, yep, going to put the water skin down at the bottom, try and get some of this mist into it.
Yeah. Okay, give
Open it
me
up like
give me an Arcana check then.
Oh, I'm good at that.
Ooh.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Pick the right man for the job.
I've actually got
Yeah,
a
I wa-
+7. Oh,
Yeah, I want.
with a nat 20, I've scored 21.
Nice.
Well done.
Oh.
Hey,
Lovely.
that's
Round of
two.
applause.
Lovely.
I was gonna eventually ask if I can like roll for any like Arcana or history to see if I know of any like dark magic or like shadow magic.
Yeah, you can roll whatever you'd like. If you want to try and determine if it's magical, you can roll an Arcana. If you want to try and remember if there's any stories about this in history books. You can roll history if you want to try and, I don't know, determine if it's like magic of a dark god. You can roll a religion. It's up to you what you would like to roll.
Yeah, I'd like to roll the religion check.
Oh, you're welcome to do that.
Oh my god, that's another natural 20. Jeez.
Oh,
Oh, lovely. First off, with your
I've got 22. Sorry.
oh wow. Well, first off, for Alistair, with your incredible dexterity, you managed to kind of channel some of your magic into your fingertips to push some of this magic around the front of the water skin, and as you're kind of pushing it along the ground, it seems to just kind of reform where it was, and it just seems to be kind of continuously staying like a thin layer on the ground. It doesn't seem like you can move it away, but you are pushing some into the water skin, and you kind of get enough into the water skin, and you pop a
I
cork
suppose
on it.
one of the things with the water skin is because you have it flat and then open it up, and it almost like works like a reverse bellows and sucks
Yeah.
some of it in.
Yeah, so you
Yeah.
can do that, but it does pull stuff in, but I'm saying it like it doesn't take it away from the floor. It seems to just kind of like create more.
Yep, yep. and just seal it up so we've
yep.
got some to look
Yeah,
at later.
you've got some in the water.
Infinite
skin.
weird mist.
Wait. Okay. Something out of like game. Since they're like shadow wisps, if I use control flames, would I be able to like move them as well?
I mean, you can certainly try. It's up to you.
Sure, I'll go and like cast like control flames again to see if I can move like any of the wisps
Yeah, you can.
like come out of the wall.
Yeah, you
And
can.
like
You can try and exert your will over it with some controlled flames, but it doesn't seem to be made of fire, so it doesn't work. Now, we'll do Vanya's history check first for these shadows. Now, you are pretty well versed in kind of stories and knowledge of the history of kind of the world, and I think you could say with pretty. I think you could be pretty confident in the fact that it's there's no kind of like manuals of adventuring or like monster manuals that depict kind of any sort of mist like this, and there's nothing kind of like I don't think a history is really what we're looking for here. You've probably heard of a couple of creatures that are kind of like shadowy creatures, but none that really kind of create a shadow like this. With the religion check, you got a 22, I think you said, right? It was above a 20. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a dirty 22. So
Dirty
not
22.
natural. 20.
Okay, that's fine. That's still a very good roll. So yeah, with a dirty 20, there is a couple of gods that probably spring to mind of being kind of associated with kind of like darkness and. So I thought I heard someone at my door. Kind of like darkness and shadows and things like that. You know, there's kind of there's a goddess, the god Shah, who is literally the goddess of darkness and kind of like night. So you know, it could be something to do with her. There's the goddess Lolth, who's the kind of like the spider goddess, who is also associated with darkness, along with other things as well. Darkness isn't a main thing, more kind of chaos and spiders. That could be something. There's a couple of gods that are more to do with kind of like necromancy, which could be kind of shadows and stuff, you know, like Vecna. And then from there, the list kind of gets more and more vague. To be kind of
There's nothing like really concrete about this.
Yeah,
It's just,
you know, there's a couple of options that it could be related to some of these gods.
Yeah. Okay.
Namely, probably the first three that I listed, and then from there it kind of gets a bit more like, if I stretched it like really hard, then it could be this god, but probably not. The most likely three candidates there would be Shah, Lolth, or Vecna. And then we kind of getting into, you know, lesser gods that might be kind of distantly related to darkness.
Yeah. Okay. There's nothing concrete there. All right.
It narrows it down, certainly.
Yeah, narrows it down.
So yeah, everyone is kind of like just looking at the wisps around and doing their own kind of remembering what they might be. So, just for ease sake, we'll say you all kind of finish this up at the same time.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Is it alright if we take like a 5-minute break and you go to the toilet quickly?
Yeah, we can take a short little bio break then.
Cool. Right.
And we'll pop onto the little break screen. Is it this one? We're back. You all stood in this little tunnel with these little wisps of dark, shadowy smoke surrounding you. And you've all been doing a little bit of investigating, and you each have some of your own ideas about what might be going on. But you haven't talked about them with each other, so we will just resume from this point. What are people liking to do?
Raven's gonna slowly push forward.
Yeah, with my character, he's gonna, with a torch in hand, he's gonna go against the wisps on the wall, see what they do, and then continue with Raven.
Yeah. So when you
And Alice,
sorry, go on.
no, Alistair's going to continue as well because he hasn't got a clue what's going on, so he's going to ignore it.
That's my kind of adventuring. Yeah, so you're like putting the torch against the wall, like
Yeah,
pushing
but not like touching it. It's just like
pushing the
getting close
flames
to
up
it.
to it. Yeah. So when you push the flames closer to the wall, the wisps on the wall do start to kind of jump out slightly. Not really like fast or like or really like intimidating, but they do start to kind of like float out a little bit further as though they're trying to like reach for the light or the warmth, either or.
Okay.
And the closer you kind of get, kind of the closer they get to the torch, and it starts to make it flicker more and more. And yeah, you'll see probably some of the wisps start to, when they start to touch the flames, they'll look like they start to be kind of burnt off as they kind of touch it and disappear as more and more start to attack the light.
Yeah. So if I was to keep it on there for a little bit longer, would they eventually like attack it and put it out?
Yeah, it's going to be a close call between. It feels like it's going to be a close call between Vanya's magic and just the wisps on the wall. I feel like you're not quite sure which one might win.
Okay.
But you can certainly leave it there
I'll
and
take
find
the.
out.
No, that's right. I'll take the torch from the wall
Okay.
and then
Yeah, they resume.
continue on.
They kind of like fall back and resume to being just kind of like, what's the word? Less active on the wall.
Yeah.
More.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So you're just going to continue down the corridor. Okay, so it's much more narrow. So those of you who are kind of more than kind of 5.5 feet tall, you're really going to have to be kind of like bunched up here, like trying to move your head away to avoid any like low-hanging bits of rock as you're squeezing through this part of the tunnel. And yeah, again, these wisps are all around you, covering all of the rock that you can see, making it very, very dark, black tunnel. Even though you've got light, it still feels like it's quite lacking brightness.
So comfortable.
For some of you. But yeah, a short kind of like walk and a squeeze around a couple of bends and corners. And there's one point where you have to go down and drop into a little pit. You come back up the other side. You will come to what appears to be a dead end against the wall. There is just both ends of the tunnel kind of meet together to form this wall of these wispy tendrils clashing against each other.
Let's see if it's like a similar optical illusion, like the wall we found earlier.
So describe to me what you're doing to it.
I'm gonna give it a feel over, but like start from edge to edge and like bring my hands together to see if they like overlap or anything like that.
Okay. So as you put a hand on either side, it feels like the solid rock. And then you kind of bring your hands closer and closer until your hands kind of go through it slightly, and your hands go much, much deeper than the rock that you were feeling before. And your hands will kind of go up to like wrist, covered in these wispy shadows, and you don't feel anything there, like there's no rock behind it.
He's just gonna keep pushing forward.
Okay. Sure. So you continue to push up. The wisps will kind of go all the way up to your elbows, to your arms, and you cannot see you cannot see into the wisps. Like in dark vision, it seems like it's a physical thing that's blocking your vision. It's not just dark. And your face goes into it, and you cannot see a thing for a few seconds until you disappear from everyone else's sight, and you'll reappear somewhere else, which we will describe once more people arrive in the same location. So what's everyone else has just seen Raven just disappear into the wall.
Well,
Slowly.
either we follow, or he's been eaten.
I'm gonna stick my spear through it and see if I can like tap Raven, like give him like a little tap.
Yeah, okay, so you stick your spear through the wall. And yeah, you'll feel something on the other side once you get quite far in. I don't think you would particularly know if it was Raven, because you don't hear any sound of like it hitting anything. It feels like there's some sort of sound barrier there as well. You can't hear like the clank of metal. I guess as you hit it, it feels like it possibly moves slightly and it isn't a solid rock wall. Raven, you are being poked in the back with a spear.
Raven, are you alive in there?
Raven, you would not be able to hear that.
Okay, can I see that there is a spear?
Yeah, if you turn around, what you'll see is the same thing that you would see on the other side, this black wall of mist, just with a spear poking out of it.
Raven's gonna grab the spear and tug on it.
Oh, do we want to do some athletics, acrobatics, or strength rolls here. Do you want to just go for a strength versus strength roll off, or do you want to just let it happen?
I'll say
Adonis?
just let it happen.
Yeah, you can
I
let
don't
it
mind being
happen
dragged
if
through.
you want. Okay. So yeah, do you want to describe what you do?
I see the spear and I go, I'm gonna mess with these people a little bit. And I grab it with both hands and I just tug on it as hard as I can.
Yeah, so as he tugs on it, I get caught off guard. I wasn't really expecting it.
Yeah.
So I just get like hurled through. So as the spear goes, my character just goes, "Whoa!"
You fly through head first.
Yeah.
And to the other players, you just saw the spear be like tugged through the shadowy wall, and Adonis was just absorbed into the wall, pulled through by some unknown entity on the other side.
Oh dear, I think we've lost them. Let's go back.
Can I like turn around and stick my spear back through it and like go and like wave it around,
Okay.
see if any of them catches it?
So now that there's two of you on the other side, I'm going to describe what you guys see first of all. So you're now in a very large room. It looks to you to be. Let me just get my measuring tools here so I can remember how big I made it. It looks to be to you about a 50 foot by 50 foot kind of like circular room. The walls themselves are completely covered in these wispy, shadowy elements. And you can see the entire room. It's illuminated by something that's almost in the very center of the room. It's not quite in the center. It looks like it's kind of set back a little bit from the center of the room. But what you can see is two large kind of purple crystal pillars that are coming up from the floor. And they kind of curve into almost like horns or spikes. And in the middle of these two pillars is a shimmering purple. Well, you guys are level 7 adventurers, so you'd probably recognize it as some sort of portal. Or, yeah, I think a portal is probably your best guess. As it kind of pulsates with purple energy, it's sending out these purple waves of light out across the room, which is allowing you to see the entire room, even though your torches might not reach the whole way. The other thing that you would probably notice next would be in the far right, along the far right wall, you would see that there is a figure slumped against the wall wearing what looks to be kind of like a black robe with a black pointy hat. And they're kind of slumped against the wall. You can just about see the bottom of their chin and some hair kind of falling down past their shoulders. So that's what you see. And then, so you're turning back to, try and put your spear back through the wall.
Yeah, I'm going to try and catch the attention of the other guys.
Yeah, so as you turn back and try and push your spear into the wall, you find that it now feels solid. It goes in a couple of millimeters like it was before when you put your hands against the walls. But it feels like it just connects with stone and doesn't seem to push any further.
Oh no.
Well, we're stuck.
Uh-oh.
Well, Mule, do we follow them or do we be sensible and turn around and go back?
No, we need to at least save them, as like Vanya would like take out her hammer and like shoot charge in, going through the, I guess, illusion of the wall is.
Yeah, Alistair again flicks the walking stick, and again it gets that sturdy feel to it and follows through.
Okay, so Vanya will walk out from the other side. You'll suddenly feel Adonis, the spear being pushed back as Vanya walks out of the wall with the spear point like in their abdomen. She just walks forward out of the shadows.
I like recoil and go, oh, sorry. I felt like stone just a second ago.
And then, yes, Alistair will follow.
I'm not going to do it with Alistair there because it's going to poke an eye out.
Oh, yes.
Go over my head, it's not a problem.
Okay, and this is a point where we have a map on Foundry. So,
Need to disable that because I'm not raging.
No, I can't remember what I thought you were. Oh, with the sword, I thought you were like a paladin or something.
Like a,